Late June settles over Atka Bay, where emperor penguins breed on the frozen edge of the Weddell Sea. The sun no longer rises here in the usual way, leaving only a dim wash of polar light. Across the exposed ice, thousands of emperor penguins stand where winter wind crosses the colony. Among them stands one male, already committed to the most demanding stage of the breeding season. Beneath his belly, a single egg rests on his feet under a warm fold of skin. Emperor penguins do not build nests. The egg must never touch the ice directly. The female laid this one egg weeks earlier, then transferred it carefully to the male. After the transfer, she left the colony and returned to sea to feed. The male remained behind, beginning a fast that will last through much of the winter. At this stage, nothing in his plumage marks him clearly as male or female. His role is visible only because the egg stays balanced above the frozen surface. Wind strengthens across the colony, pushing loose snow between the standing birds. The male turns his back toward the gusts and lowers his head against the cold. Every small step must keep the egg centered safely between both feet. The colony thickens into a huddle, not by command, but by each bird responding to weather. The male takes short, careful steps and enters the outer edge of the gathering mass. Black backs turn outward, shielding inner birds from the strongest part of the wind. The female laid this one egg weeks earlier, then transferred it carefully to the male. For several minutes, the male is protected, while other bodies take the full force of winter. The huddle never stays fixed. Small movements ripple through it as conditions change. One bird steps, another adjusts, and the pressure slowly redistributes across the group. The male is carried deeper into shelter without ever exposing the egg beneath him. His beak rests against the feathers above the brood pouch while he conserves heat. Inside the cluster, trapped warmth can rise well above the surrounding air. The male eventually reaches the edge again as the shifting group changes shape. A fall here could chill the egg within moments, so balance is everything. Several nearby birds tighten formation again, narrowing the remaining gap beside him. During the harshest weather, the colony grows quieter, broken only by wind and low calls. The male lifts his head briefly and answers a distant call across the ice. Vocal recognition matters here, where thousands of nearly identical birds share the same ice. Far from the colony, the female hunts at sea beneath shifting Antarctic ice. She uses her flippers to drive through frigid water in search of fish and krill. After laying the egg, feeding at sea is the only way to restore lost body mass. She must recover enough energy to return before the egg hatches. Back at Atka Bay, The male has no way to know how far away she is. He only continues the same winter task, standing, protecting, and conserving energy. Weeks of fasting gradually reduced the reserves stored before the breeding season began. By early July, his outline appears leaner, but the egg remains sheltered as carefully as before. The polar night begins to soften, though the colony still lives under severe winter conditions. Huddles form and dissolve again as wind direction and temperature continue to shift. The male steps with the moving group, never allowing the egg to slip from his feet. Beneath the brood pouch, the embryo continues developing through the coldest part of the year. The colony stretches across the ice like a living field of black and white forms. Out at sea, the female dives and feeds in water far more dynamic than the still colony ice. Her return will connect the ocean phase of breeding back to the ice-bound colony. For the male, that reunion lies ahead. The present moment is still endurance. He raises his head as wind weakens, then lowers it again over the brood pouch. Other males nearby repeat the same posture across the frozen breeding ground. Each bird carries only one egg, and each must keep it above the ice. The sea ice beneath them remains the entire nursery until the first chick begins to hatch. That moment has not arrived yet. This episode remains one of waiting and exposure. Even thinner now, the male still holds the same careful balance he kept weeks earlier. Snow drifts around the feet of the colony, while the huddles continue their slow rearrangement. The male answers another low call, then returns to silence and stillness. Across Atka Bay, thousands of fathers continue this same winter duty at once. Their eggs remain hidden, warming slowly beneath feathers while the Antarctic winter persists. The same male stands against the fading wind, still holding winter's smallest and most fragile burden. In the polar darkness of Atka Bay, the egg remains above the ice, and the father keeps watch.